Delhi-NCR's air quality is rapidly deteriorating, with the air quality index breaching the alarming 400 mark on a scale of 500. In several areas, the AQI has reached alarming levels. To name a few, Anand Vihar Station, Punjabi Bagh Station, and Munka Station recorded AQI levels in the severe category, that is above the 400 AQI mark, according to the Central Pollution Control Board's data. This has prompted a ban on non-essential construction work and the closure of primary schools in Delhi. Restrictions have also been imposed on diesel and petrol vehicles operating in and around Delhi. Government agencies have further warned that pollution levels could worsen in Delhi-NCR over the next 15 to 20 days due to a surge in farm fires along with an expected drop in temperature and airspeed. With Diwali around the corner, the damage could only worsen. The AQI of the capital was 326 last year on the day after Diwali, and it was 451 in 2021, falling under the severe category. Last year, the Kejriwal government imposed a ban on all types of crackers except green crackers, but there was rampant violation of that rule. It remains to be seen what steps the government initiates this year. The concentration of PM 2.5 exceeded the safe limit of 60 micrograms per cubic meter by 7 to 8 times across various locations. PM 2.5 refers to particles less than 2.5 micrometers in diameter, and these can penetrate deeply into the lung, irritate and corrode the alveolar wall, and consequently impair lung function. As of 1 pm on November 3, the PM10 levels were at 507.1 micrograms per cubic meter. PM10 is defined as fine particles and PM2.5 refers to ultrafine particles. Both types of particles can enter the lungs and cause respiratory problems.
We're looking at particle sizes. What do you mean by 2.5 and 10 is just the size of the particle, the diameter of the particle is such. So obviously 2.5 will penetrate more into the lung than 10. That's quite obvious simply by matter of size. So a mask may not be very preventive. An ordinary surgical blue color mask that you use may not be very protective against 2.5, but will protect against 10. If you use an N95 mask, there may be a protection against both. But against 2.5, it's still a may. You cannot really prevent it at all.
The poor quality of air impacts your health directly. Starting from the nose to the bronchi and other respiratory organs, the impact could be anywhere and everywhere.
The opening batsman of the respiratory tract is the nose. Nose is the portal of entry through which all particulate matter enter the nose, including the air that we breathe. So nose is the first organ that is affected. Nose is generally affected by irritation because it affects the mucosa of the nose and produces nasal irritation, nasal burning, sneezing, nasal block, all sorts of things are produced in the nose. And when the nose produces all these secretions, they secrete and 90% of them drain backwards into the sinuses and into the throat. So you will get a throat related problem after that. You will get something which is called a postnasal drip, as we'd like to call that. So that will produce a problem posteriorly because the nose will drain posteriorly also, and it will produce a postnasal drip. That is as far as the nose is concerned. Now after the particle size enters the lungs, it can cause bronchitis, it can cause wheezing, it can cause pneumonia, it can cause all sorts of things.
Experts say that those with pre-existing respiratory conditions, for example asthma or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, should continue to take precautionary measures and treatment without fail. So with the situation heading from bad to worse, what are the steps that you can take to protect yourself? The only way to prevent yourself from getting affected is by staying indoors.
I think the best thing that you can do is to stay indoors. There's nothing like that. That is the best. Avoidance is the best way to avoid all type of allergies as such. So you can stay indoors, which obviously you cannot. You have to go outdoors at some point of time or the other. So if it's in that context, I think the best thing would be, if you're going out, you wear a mask, preferably an N95 mask, which will give you protection both against 2.5 and against 10. And you can use the mask as often as possible, especially if you go into crowded places and you go into places with a lot of smoke. That's what I would advise you, to wear a mask or otherwise stay indoors.
The air pollution problem in the national capital has become an annual feature, and it's high time that steps are taken to tackle this issue. Long-term solution is what this persistent problem requires.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.